It's kind of building up all summer, you know, the horses that you're riding, you're kind of aiming them towards Galway, see what will win there and what are the best horses to head there. But all in all, it's a fantastic festival, like, you know, it's great fun. It's kind of, for National Hunt point of view, it's not that busy, so we have a couple of races and we are allowed to enjoy ourselves up there, you know. People are always talking about the hill up towards the finish, but then you have to consider that there's a very steep hill to go down into the dip. It's very tactical. It can ride tight at times, and especially with the way the weather is now, it can go from being very quick to being very soft. You know, it's that type of soil that's on the track. So it can change overnight, and you just have to be aware of, if on good ground you need a really quick horse that'll travel. On heavy ground it can be very, very salmon and staffing. The hurdle, you need a quick horse. Last year you saw Overturn winning it off a big weight, and he ended up being a champion hurdle contender. Also the year I won it on Farmer Brown, he was also a champion hurdle contender. So you do need quite a good horse to win a Galway hurdle. Again, the prize money up there is fantastic, and the crowd add to it because you know, it's not every track that for so far down the crowd joins in the whole way up against the race, you know. You need a sharp horse that's very slick with his jumping. The two in the dip can be very tricky. And then you have a huge long run home, like from the back of the last to the line is 4 furlongs, and it can also leave in a horse maybe that might be as good a jumper that might stay on well towards the finish, you know. Day one now I'm riding an English horse and coming over for Rebecca Curtis. She's doing very well in England at the moment. He runs in the first race, and the second race I ride a horse called First Trim for Jarlath Fahey up there in Kildare, and you know, so very much looking forward to it. My first horse looks to be up against it. Rebecca's bringing over a couple of horses, so maybe he might be the lesser one of the bunch, but he's won a hurdle, and he's ran well in Ireland without winning before he went to England, so he's probably limited. Dermot Wells' horse looks to be a shoe-in in the first. He done it very comfortably in Sligo the last day, and I'm sure he'll be well primed for the day. My ride in the second has an outside chance of getting into the money. He's a very quick horse, travels very well to his race. Stamina mightn't be his forte, you know, so the hill just might catch him out. Tuesday is again another tough card. The flat boys are taking centre stage early on in the week. Again tomorrow on Tuesday we've only 2 races. It's a tricky enough contest. It looks like there's a chase there that's very competitive over 2-6, the Galway Play course, so people will get a reading what way it's riding on Tuesday. There's also a novice hurdle there on Tuesday, but it looks to be a very tricky card. The ground is going to ride fast, so there may not be the big number of fields in the novice races. Wednesday is the hurdle day. And you know, it looks to be making a very good race. It all depends what Overturn does. If he stays in England to run in the flat handicap, or if he comes over, the weights will move an awful lot. You know, it's still very much up in the air what's fancied in it. But the talking horse again of the meeting will be the Edward O'Grady trained horse that was second to Captain Seaby in Tipperary. He looks to have 18 pounds in hand with the handicapper, and it's all very hard to stay ahead of the handicapper, and Edward seems to be very well in. The plate, Captain CB in the top of the weight, high class horse, will just tell you the type of horse that's in the race. If you look back on last year's plate, it's an 11 pound higher in the handicap rating wise, so it is a shocking competitive race. But JP McMahon's horse controls the weights, and there's a horse stuck in there, a horse called Wise Old Owl of John Kiley's. Looks to be well set up for the race, and at this stage, early stage, you know, he looks to be the one.